Patron, take them away.
And a warm welcome to one and all. If it's your first time here, I'm the big fella Scruff, and what I'm trying to do is put trading in the real world. Maybe show you a trick or two along the way. So if that sounds good, do hit the subscribe button, grab your coffee, and we'll crack on. So what we're doing? Well, I'm kind of following up on a video I did earlier on this morning, which was sort of the economic news and the strengths, etc., of the marketplace. Now, in it, I gave a slight prediction on cable, because I like to do that. I like to sort of give you a quick rough overview of what's going on. And it was also the Aussie dollar and one thing and another. And I thought I'll just come to camera and back it up. And why not? And we'll break the chart down. We'll take it to square flat and we'll break it up. See if we can get some form of a trade in it. And just take it from there. So let's flick this over. So there's my cable chart. Now I've already been in this morning. Now we'll clean everything off. Started from scratch. So I've got no positions running, no tickets. And that's what I've done this morning. I was up early this morning and I saw there was going to be a continuation of the drop, and sure enough, there it is there. Okay. Now, from here, we're in a good position. Now, let me just kind of clarify something. On this is already in the Discord for the guys. They know exactly what it is that I'm going to be doing. That is there. So if I pull that up, it's the same one. I've also looked at the DAX, but there's nothing doing on the DAX. So my chart of choice at the moment is cable. Now what we can see is the US dollar is incredibly strong. It's pushed up. It's gained 14 points from the last data sample. And the pound is losing a lot of ground. A lot of ground, right? So that's the first thing to run into my mind. Then we've got the continuation of these moves. And they are pretty darn good. So let's just take this out to a daily a second. Now straight away what you can see with the dailies is if you discount Sunday night, which is the little green candle behind us, and I just put in some basic levels. Okay. We've already got the price framed. It's framed very well. Okay. Here. Now, if I put in some extra levels, which is the open and the close, you can see it's actually come down into one of those levels right now. Now, there is a fifth level you can put on, and it's the center point. And the center point happens to line up with that. And we're holding below the center point. Okay. Now, what else can we see inside this if I was going to start framing this out? Well, you can see a top here very cleanly, and you can see a very clean bottom down here. Okay, so there's a big arena. Now what else can we take from this? Take your fib from there to the top on the daily. We're at the 50%. It's the crucial level. Let me just drop in some key markers, just like so. And then we can see exactly where we are when we drop down into lower frames. So there's a chart made up purely from the daily. Very, very simple. Okay, what's the 4 hour got to say? Well, We've now got nice areas of attraction. And look how the price is reacting to these levels that I've put in. They are almost on point. So where else can we see here? Well, we can see a super drop here. Beautiful drop. Try to recover and then it's collapsed through. Okay. What does this look like on an hourly chart? Well, there's the move. Okay. So again, just get an extension. Take it to the lowest point of the move. Just pull this back. Actually, the low point will be there. All right, because that's like the chop and then the move. This will start highlighting different areas. Areas that are incredibly useful. Now I'm going to put these in blue just so I can recognize them. They're the expansions of that move. Right. Bang on. And it's now at the expansion. Okay. So I'm quite happy with that. Get rid of that. What else can we see? Well, we can see there's been a move to the upper side and it's trying to push down. Okay. Well, that was the last significant move on the hourly. This one here. All right. So again, what we're going to do, we are going to look to see what the retracement element of that is. So just pull that out, up like so, and just like magic, that is married up to that which was a fib from further in the chart. So I'm going to drop that onto there, and then if you look at the big expansion, takes it down to there. So this is now just married out everything. And when you have something that marries up just like so, it gives you a framework to work. Now you'll always have the Doubting Thomases, you always will. That, it doesn't work, blah, blah, blah. It's just lines on a chart. Well, that's all trading is, guys. It's just lines on a chart. The question is these actually have relevance, because when you come down into 15 minutes, now they're actually good points of attraction, you know, and you can use these lines to your advantage. So we've now got this. Lovely, right? Very good areas to work to. So what do we do with these? Well, every time it touches them, you can sell it. Why? Because we've decided that the market is in a sell. So that's what we do. We just look to sell these things over and over. So let that push up. Where do we think it's going to push to? Well, it can push into here. It can fail here. It can fail there. It can get all the way up to here. But as long as you're sensible with what you're trying to achieve, then you're fine. Because if you're on a sell, these here are going to be short term. In other words, they're just profit taking. You know, people come in, they take some profits. You also have opposing positions where you'll have people that just buy support and resistance. So they'll buy there, but the bigger trend, and you can see it. Without question, you can see it. Take it down into 5 minutes. Let's have a little look. Now we are running through the open. So it's a bit of a dangerous time to start trading. But if you've got an idea of what you're after, it's not as dangerous as you think. So there's a point. So what we're going to do is we're just going to have a quick little look at it and see what it's like. So it takes 5 minutes. Is it? Well, it's failed at the exact point. Okay. So do we have a push point. Let's just take a second to look at the DNA of this candle. Now the DNA of a candle is the 1 minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see the sellers are starting to come in. Now there is a lot of long tails, so okay. This could be the place. Now if it's pushing up, it's been there before, you can see rattled along that line and it's now failing. So I can put an order in here, which is safe, so it has to come down to crack at one and then move down if I so wish. Let's look at this. Where do we think? Well, if we know pivot points are the 50%, get a fib. There's the move. There's that. What do we know? 50 lines perfectly into this. All right. I'll just wait. So what I'll do is I'll leave the camera running. I'll be looking to sell this when it gets up close around this area. And that's it. You know, nice, simple, easy trade. Push that up there. Are we about right? Yeah. So what we'll do, we'll start sandwiching. So place the order. Probably on that blue line. And run it back down here somewhere. Okay, right. Kind of happy with that to a degree. I'll leave the camera running and then I'll come back to you. Okay guys, so there you go. Executed just as I suspected. Look at how the levels have been respected. Straight to it, stalled, ran away, came back to the key fib that I put in place, which was here, which it also stalled at on the way up. Came down, stalled in and around the daily, back down, retesting the fib, and then back up and stop me out. Now, one of the things that I did in this process was I decided that once it was getting into key levels, take the bulk of the money out and just see if something will run. And if it does, amazing. And if it doesn't, it's no big deal because it's going to be risk-free. It's not going to cost me anything. And we'll just let it play out. Now, I can quite morally go back to market if I wish. Don't particularly need to. Because, well, why? I've been paid. There's nothing running, no tickets left. And that's what you've just seen me do. So this morning, I've pulled out 351 quid for a couple of hours work on basic analysis. I didn't have to go merry mad on the last trade because I've already had a bulk out. And that's one of the beauties of trading. Well, I'm saying the beauties, maybe that's the wrong word. One of the disciplines of trading. And that's once you've paid, walk away. Because the temptation to keep going back to market is huge. And because of that, that's when you probably lose your money. You know, because you're trying to be too clever. Get every move, every sort of wave of the market. And basically you're just gambling. And this is one of the few channels that will tell you to stop trading, because probably the reason that 90% fail is because you're just basically chasing money all the time. You'll always be chasing it. You'll never get any further forward, so just give up. And it's a hard thing to say, but at the same time, I hope it snaps home to some people, you know, and they might realize that trading is a job and not a game. I get messages all the time, virtually every week, and it's always the same. You know, I'm getting stopped out too much. Well, he stops it too tight. I'm not letting my winners run. Well, you're greedy. You're just snatching at profits. I do really well and then I lose everything. Well, then you're gambling, because you should never, ever have more at stake that'll wipe out a week's worth of wages. Ever. And if you are, you're just a fucking idiot. And if you can't see that, then you're definitely a fucking idiot. There has to be common sense involved in your trading. So if you're having a stop that's like 400 pips away and you're only trying to score 20, that's madness. There's nothing wrong with a wide stop. In fact, I like a wide stop, but I stage into it. So I'm never fully exposed and I'm never really at any risk. Not really. And that's from basic sort of chart reading as we do today and common sense. Have you got any common sense?
Yes.
Have you?
No.
I wouldn't have said so.
Oh, thanks.
Well, she couldn't have had any common sense. She married me. Anyway, there we go. So that was me just backing up what I said earlier on today. So if you check out the sort of strength videos that I do on a morning, you'll see that I said I was going to short this. So publicly announced what's going to happen. Now you've seen it in the aftermath. I can't be any fairer than that. I genuinely can't. And I do that every morning. And it's kind of on a reward for support, if you like. If the video gets 50 likes, I'll do the next one public. If it doesn't get 50 likes, just goes into the Discord for the guys in the squad. Now, we scraped through on Friday to get today's public video, but there wasn't enough to give a public live stream. So again, if you want to see these things, put the effort in, subscribe to the channel, share it to your friends, all of that, because if there's no audience and I'm not seeing any feedback, I just don't see the point of spending my time making these videos when nobody's watching them. So, as always, guys, trade well, keep your risk managed, but above all, do what you love, and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.